Hello and welcome to today's video on the English language exam that students sat on the 6th of June 2017. I'm looking at paper 1, but I can't show you what's inside this paper. AQA have copyrighted it and they're not going to release it till May for what seems like a very good reason. And the reason is this. AQA want your teachers to be able to use this paper as a mock. So why is this a problem? Well, if you visit my website, the Slightly Awesome Teacher, that's named after the book of teaching that I wrote, and search down for my blogs, you will find on the blog page a Do You Understand Your Mock Exam blog. And that blog, here it is here, explains in detail why the mock exams are not the best way for you to revise. And the main reason is what the brain does with spaced learning. So without boring you, what it says is that doing a full mock is a very poor way to revise, but doing individual questions is a brilliant way to revise. The other problem with a mock is you'll make so many mistakes you just won't know where to start correcting them. Whereas if you're given papers which are very similar to the mock, you'll work it out what parts of your revision are working and what parts of your revision aren't. So what I've done is this. I've taken the text that you'll be tested on and I've rewritten it entirely. So at the beginning of your paper, you will be given this little introduction. This is a short story by Dominic Salles. It is the early 2000s and Regina, a teacher with a huge Twitter following, is trolling on social media from her home. Now, this is the first paragraph of the text, and the color coding is to show you how I've changed the verbs, the adverbs, the nouns, and the adjectives. Over the face of her keyboard, Regina began a barrage of abuse, and that was usually the way she spent such a brilliant evening, because a Twitter account and a poisonous tongue and a quiver of quips are just perfect for some social media trolling on a laptop. As she tweeted the world on the web, swigged her wine with one gulp and spat at her victims in 140 characters, Regina decided she could have sold her mother for a viral tweet, something vindictive and destructive and glorious. So what I've done there is written my own piece of fiction, but every time there's a verb, that's the green stuff, I've used my own verb. Every time there's an adjective, that's the blue stuff, I've used my own adjective. Every time there's a noun, that's the yellow stuff, I've used my own noun. And every time there's an adverb, I've used my own adverb, although here we can see that there aren't any. The other thing that I've done is I've kept exactly the same punctuation in the same place in the sentence. So all my sentences are exactly the same length as the one that you'll study in your mock or when you do the 2017 paper. And all the punctuation is exactly the same as well. And this is an incredibly useful skill for you to master because it will teach you how to be a writer. Now, I'm doing this for two reasons. If you practice this skill yourself, you will become a much better writer. But if you now watch my videos on this text, you will be able to prepare yourself exactly for the 2017 paper. Why that's so brilliant to you is this. I'm going to give you lots of advice about how to approach this question. If you then try the 2017 exam, you will be able to see exactly what you have learned from the advice. If I were to give you a completely different paper that didn't look like this one at all, you'd make different mistakes and you wouldn't know what you learned. So this text that I've written for you is going to be the very best revision you could ever have because you'll be able to test exactly how well you've learned from it by doing the 2017 mock. So if I go through the rest of the paragraphs, I'll just show them to you. All these are exactly the same as the paragraphs you will encounter. They're completely different words, but the structure is identical. So all the punctuation in exactly the same place, the sentences exactly the same length, the nouns, the verbs, the adjectives and adverbs in exactly the same place. And as you can see, it goes on for quite a way until you get to the end of the text. So there will be two ways to use this text. One, study my videos and this text before you do this exam, or if you've done your mock based on this exam paper before you see the videos, redo the questions that I give you on the text that I've written and compare how that's helped you improve from your mock exam. So stay subscribed if you want some more questions on paper 1 based on the text that I've written for you, and good luck with your revision.